It is Tuesday night, a little past 8 p.m. You know what that means. It is time for DRS F1. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Let me just do my thing through Twitch. Just so the guys know we are live. Can hear some cars starting up in the background there, so we will get everything set. Now this is interesting, we're going the opposite way round the Red Bull Ring this week. And let me so now that that's taken care of, let's welcome you all to round 7. We only have a short amount of races left. 6 to go, including tonight. But before all that, we have our usual 18-minute qualifying session that we always have for our 50% rounds. And we'll stay on board with Easy Life here as he starts his first qualifying run in the Alpine. Actually, let me take the tyre graphic off there. We don't need that just yet. And so obviously this is a very well, we already seen one reverse race at the start of the season at, I think it was Silverstone. Yes, it was. Obviously that was a very interesting race. We saw, I'm trying to think back, nearly a month and a half ago, as we see Michael set the benchmark. Finley sets the benchmark even higher with a 4.8. But as I was going to say, yeah, one of our newer additions to the F1 game franchise for this, well, for this game cycle really, reverse circuits. We've got, I think they added 3 if I remember right. There was obviously Silverstone, Red Bull Ring, which we are at tonight. We also have Zandvoort in reverse. We saw the 100% round in Zandvoort last week, as Lord Coleman now goes to the top with a 4.7. Where is the likes of Senna? I believe Senna is either just come in or he's coming out of the pits. Frosty using all the track on the exit of turn 2. It looks like Senna is actually coming out of the pits. A few drivers get out of the way of Frosty here as he comes into what usually is turn 4. Now, I feel like this corner we're approaching here, the little hairpin, usually at the top of the hill, usually turn 3 on the normal layout. I think that's going to be a scene of a few dramas here tonight. You can see Frosty comes around the final corner. Where's Frosty going to go? We have to wait a while because the start-finish line is so late on the circuit. Jax Daniels, ooh, only 5,000 slower than Lord Coleman at the moment. Let's move down the field to Senna, who looks like he's going to start his first flying lap of the session. Leaving a little later than everybody else can be beneficial, as you may not have as much traffic to deal with. As well as I say that, there's a yellow flag sector 2, looks like an Alpine or an Aston Martin going slowly. Anyway, here comes Senna into the first few corners there. Now, it's been an interesting season for Senna so far. I need to figure out how to get my thingy on that. Anyway. Let me get last week's race results up while he's coming around the lap. He had a very interesting race, a bit of a back and forth with Jax Daniels a couple of times in the race. It's very exciting racing, made a very long race, very entertaining to watch. He ended up taking the win, according to my... Yes, he did, because he had the 10-second time penalty for overtaking under yellow flags removed. As while I was looking at that, he set a time almost exactly 2/10 quicker than Lord Coleman, up to the top with a 4.527. And there's a bit of traffic ahead. Lucky Senna's not on a lap, it looks like. It's an Aston Martin moving to the side there. Take a look at 50 Gent, who goes up to 16th. Just caught the end of his lap right there. Look at Al News, who's looking... I think he's looking to improve a lap here. For the 7.4 doesn't really look... Oh, never mind, there's a purple sector there. I was going to say, it doesn't really look reflective of what we've seen of them so far this season. As he rounds the final corner, with the DRS flap opens up, comes to the line, he's going to go 10th. And I haven't a clue how much time... Oh, there we go. We've just gone under the 10-minute mark of 10 minutes to go in the session. Looks like there's very few drivers on track or on a lap at the moment. Let's actually take a look at who we are missing tonight. We don't have King Kong or Kessler. We're supposed to have Dan Morris, but I can't see his name in the field here. I can only assume Dan Morris is going to be a late arrival. Notice we've got 2 reserves in the field as well. We've got Shawnee P and KD Races. That's going to be a talking point. The pit exit here, you almost merge exactly onto the racing line. So maybe might get interesting in the pit stop window. There's a McLaren. I was caught a bit too late, but looks like a McLaren got caught up by the. It might be smug git here. Kind of got caught out by people coming out the pits, maybe. just flick through the field, so he's on a lap. We'll look at Michael as he comes down the hill. And into what's usually turn 1. He's gonna go 15th. Let's actually move up the field a bit. We'll look at Jack Daniels. We'll go on board as he comes in. Well, it's coming through sector 2. Used all the inside there at the hairpin, using a little bit of the green painted on the inside as well in what's usually turn 2. Looking very good here. All the exit on the final corner. He's going to put himself to the top, a 103.994. We're looking at nearly half a second compared to him and Senna. Where is Senna? Senna will be coming into sector 3 any moment. We'll look at the sector on the mini map on the bottom there. There's no purple flash. It's going to need probably an impressive final sector here to get anywhere near. And here he comes to the line. Only second. But he's not too far away, just under a 10th. But these two putting themselves right at the head of the field here. Smug Git now up to 3rd at 4.427. Seems the point something 27 seems to be the time to have tonight. We've seen a few people have that kind of lap time. So Ferrari getting out of the way for someone in sector 1. Looks like it was Mr. Pickle coming out of the pits. We'll look at Lord Coleman here. Is this Finley just behind? Yes, it is. We'll take a look at the Mercedes driver here. The current Pro Class leader as he comes up to the hairpin. It's only... oh, he's going to come into the pits actually. So is Lord Coleman. What about Swanton? Looks like Swanson's onto a lap. There's going to be 4 minutes left in the session-ish. Well, it's 4 minutes 20-ish, but as we see, Swanson takes a purple middle sector according to the track map. And there he comes to the line. Only 7th. But look how close the field is here. What's that? That's, I say, about 9 drivers. 8-9 drivers separated all within a whole second. And even when you look a bit further back, you know, you look from... we'll use the reference of Mr. Pickle in 9th. Everyone else is within... everyone except from 50 Gent. He's in the 1 minute. He's got 1 minute 6.5. Everyone else within well, everyone behind Mr. Pickle within a second of his time. Let's take a look at the reserve driver, Shawnee P. Looks like he's going to start his final lap of the session. Here he comes. In fact, I think because we'll have a bit of time before the top two come out, we will go on board. Sloth's retired from the session. That's a bit of an awkward spot to retire that. Makes me think that wasn't an accident, it was a pause and retire. Here comes very late apex was showing a little bit of a twitch on the exit, but it's looking good. Actually, let me get. Oh, he's gone a bit deep at the hairpin. What's his time looking like? He's 2/10 up according to the data at the top there. It's the final corner. Is he going to improve? Only by about 10th. Doesn't look like there's a position improvement, but it was a time improvement, and he's invalidated this last lap. I think he'll be using that to get back to the pits anyway. Here comes Smug Git now in 3rd place currently. This looks like he's backed out of this one. Now, let's take a look at Findlay. Findlay's coming through Sector 1. Oh, he caught the curb and he's going to back out his final lap here. What about Lord Coleman? Lord Coleman's invalidated. I think he's going to have one more crack at the time before the session ends. We'll go on to the off-board for a second. It looks like Senna could be in a bit of traffic. Oh no, he's following Jack Stanley from looks of things. I was looking at the wrong part of the map. Yeah, he's going to be following Jack Stanley, maybe potentially getting a little tow. We shall see as we follow them around the lap. There's a couple of I saw a bit of a movement there. I think from Michael Sainsey up to 12th. Syme in the pit. He's going to be starting down in 14th at least. Oh, no higher than 14th at least. 50 Gen improves up to 15th with a 1 minute 5.5. We'll follow Senna for the remainder of the lap here. Oh, as Jack Styles runs wide in the final corner, is Senna going to have enough to take pole position? No, he won't. He's a 10th and a bit down. And it looks like Jack Styles is going to be on pole here in Austria reverse. KD Races invalidated. Al Newt also invalidated. And that is it for our short qualifying session. There we go. After 18 minutes, the grid is set. Jack Daniels and Senna locking out the front row once again. You got Finley and Smug Git on the second row. Lord Coleman, Frosty, Swanson, The Sloth, Mr. Pickle, and KD races the rest of the top 10. For the rest of the field, Michael GFF, Sainsy, Al Newt, DRS Syme, 50 Gen, Easy Life, and Shawnee P. And we can see the rain falling here. So this will make a very interesting decision for our drivers, who have to consider the conditions after a dry qualifying session. Ugh. Just while we wait for the start, let's take a look at Twitch. See, say hello to you guys watching, who are watching us live at least. If you are watching this, well, either on Twitch as a delay thing, or I believe the races are reposted onto YouTube on the DRS YouTube channel. If you are looking for it, I can tell you right now that that's not what I wanted. Where are we? Oh, it is somewhere, no. There we go. If you are looking for the league on YouTube, it is Dynamic Racing Series, gaps between all three words. So it'd be Dynamic Gap, like normal space, Racing Series. Or if you want to watch us live every Tuesday night at 8 PM, the Twitch channel you are looking for is mine. It's called DJ Dabosaurus. I do occasionally stream other stuff away from DRS, so I'll try not to use this as much of a advert, but there are things to look for when we do not have DRS on. And here we go for the formation lap. I can stop yapping now. So let's take a look at the grid. I believe no one's going to be going for wets. Ooh, maybe not. I thought from the messages I was seeing through Discord, oh, was Jack Daniels sliding about through turn 1. It's a bit of a hold up on the grid, is it? I don't know. It looked. There's a bit of a gap between Swanson and Sloth. What I was going to say is, well, the game's suggesting wets. I don't know. Do I have access to the forecast? I should do, because it's on Discord somewhere. It's supposed to brighten up within, well, at least for the 4 periods. It's light rain, it's rain, cloudy, like partially cloudy, and then sun for the rest of the race. I don't know if wet tyres are going to be the call here. I mean, credit to Finley, Coleman and Sloth for taking the gamble, but I don't think it'll be the right call. We have a bit of a long wait for the formation lap to finish. I can see there's a massive gap between Frosty and Swanson there, between 6th and 7th. Gonna leave the top 6 here on the grid for a long time, just to, not that these wet tires get warm much, but on the other hand, you don't really want to have stone cold tires by the start. And here we go, here come the rest. Better late than never, I guess. I mean, watch the last few drivers roll into their grid spots. And there we go. So we can actually see the lights this week. They're on. And they're out and we're away. Here in Austria reverse. And it seems to be a clean start. Everyone. Oh, there's a few people going wide at turn 1 there. I hate this corner angle, but there we go. And it seems Finley making use of them wets as he gets ahead of Jack Daniels for 2nd. And oh, is Coleman taking a little peek up the inside of Smug Gate? But Senna absolutely clearing the way. He's 1.2 ahead of Finley and Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels dressed a little bit wide. Oh, he's sliding in the exit. Is he on a dry setup? Like, is he fully on a dry setup? Because that can really... Oh, it's Frosty. Goes for a bit of a spin on the entry to the hairpin there. Gets a 10-second penalty for corner cutting. I don't think that one will get removed post-race. I can only assume there is logs because that looked like a very... I don't think there was anyone around him to contact. But anyway, after lap 1, everyone just about safely through from the looks of things. Probably a very scary moment for the Kick Sauber driver. And where is... Let's move up to the front a little bit here. Now, this is probably going to be where we find out which tyre is the one to be on. It seems it's 50-50. Senna is skating around a little bit on the exit. So maybe the wet is... the full wet was the right call. We'll wait a couple laps, see where we are. As Jack Daniels goes very wide on the exit of the final corner. Yep, Finley goes with the fastest lap of 19.4. Oh, sorry, that's Jack Daniels, I'm sorry, that takes the fastest lap. And there's a helicopter right above my house. I was wondering what I could hear. Anyway. Let's take a look. Let's move down the field a little bit. Let's look at Sloth, one of the other starters on the wet tyre. Seems to be staying with Swanson. Obviously, overtaking will be a little bit difficult for the time being. There's no DRS in wet conditions. So these drivers are going to have to rely on their raw skill and their battery management. Senna now retakes the fastest lap of the race as well, an 18.9. So maybe the tyre situation is 50-50. But there's probably no clear advantage. Maybe as the track dries up a bit, we might see... oh, you can see Jack Daniels sliding again. What I was going to say is that, you know, when the rain starts easing and the dry line starts to form, maybe these wet runners will start to struggle a little. See there, Jack Daniels, he's sliding all over the place in some of these corners. I mean, it's clearly working. He's keeping himself within, just about in touch with Senna. Let me move back into the field a little bit. We'll take a look at 50 Jensen, Easy Life. Senna sets a new fastest lap again. Jack Daniels goes even quicker. Let's actually get fastest laps up there. I think, looking at those times, yeah, it feels very 50-50. I can't really decide where the pace really is at the moment. We'll take a look. Here is Jack Daniels and Finley now. They are side by side on the run up to the hairpin. Jack Daniels pulls ahead. So maybe the brief advantage the wets have are gone. The Inters may be coming into their best conditions. Yeah, we can see Finley died to the pits. Slides his way through the pit entry. Senna into the 17s now. Finley gets a speeding penalty. Unlucky there for the Mercedes. Because meanwhile, Jack Daniels flirting with the track limits on the exit of turn 1. I kind of wish there was a way to track warnings without going into race director, but I'm going to have to work with what we've got here. We can see he's set a purple sector through sector 1. And yes, Finley onto the intermediates. That's interesting call. Because if this race goes dry within the next 5-10 laps, it's effectively a wasted pit stop. Again, we'll let the race play out because you never know what happens here in DRS. Jack Daniels comes around to the line. Yes, he's still quicker than Senna. Oh, he slides his way through turn 1. We'll take a look at Coleman, who's now the lead wet tyre runner. We'll go on the onboard. What's the grip looking like for a wet tyre runner? There's a yellow flag sector 2. That's Jack Daniels! He's off the circuit! In the little middle section there with the ball on the inside, he's gone off the circuit. What has happened? Did it just catch the curb and the rear's gone? We completely missed that because we were trying to look at Lord Coleman, but wow. Massive let off for Senna, who's now 8.2 ahead of Lord Coleman. Now Senna sets the best lap of the race so far. Seems like he's doing it every other lap. And I'm sorry. It seems the pressure of Jack Daniels no longer on his back. He could probably race calmly for the next until the pit stop here. I mean, just look at he's got almost that entire DRS straight to himself. Yep, Senna pushing the boundary even further. Lord Coleman defending into the final turn. When Smug gets side by side, he's through. Jack Daniels trying to get through as well before turn 1. Doesn't look like it. Jack Daniels trying the outside line. He's still sticking with it. He's gonna run out of road, it looks like, though. Swanson's still lurking in the distance, just in the background there. He's on the rear wing of Jack Daniels. Senna now nearly 13 seconds ahead in the lead of this race. And Jack Daniels is going to trap the inside of Coleman into the hairpin. He's not going to get through. Mr. Pickle got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He's going to try the outside line in the final turn here. He's just gone behind the timer to elbows through. And the Alpine driver back up to P3. Swanson now up into 4th. I think the wet experiment has reached an unfortunate end for Lord Coleman. Just taking a look at where Finley is after his early pit stop. He is up to P13 as it stands after, well, say 9 laps. And we'll move through the field a little bit. We'll look at Katie races, one of the reserves tonight. Currently running 7th. I need to remind myself, where did KD finish in their last race? Because they had a good result. Never mind, that's the wrong result. KD was 7th last time they joined us. They're currently matching that right now. Now it seems the rain's eased off a lot in the last few laps. You can still see it's enough to dampen the circuit, but whether it's enough to whether dry enough for us to see some pit stops, I don't know. Could be a couple laps before we do see some pit stops. I mean, we should be passing the point of when the rain would stop if the little forecast was accurate. Jack Daniels now with a 14.1 fastest lap of the race. And I'll move up a little bit just to see if we can get past Smug Git and retake P2 in this race. It's got a long way to go before he's back on center, but we still have many laps to go, at least another third or so of the race. In fact, we'll be about the third in at the end of this lap. And he's drifting his way around the usual turn 4. Now, I think, does Jack Daniels need to be reminded that he is currently the championship leader? He doesn't need to be taking as many risks. We can see Coleman's lost in place to Mr. Pickle, which, again, I don't think these wets are working. Look at Sloth down to 15th now. He's lost the main pack as well. I think for first 5-lap grip they were great, but I think anything afterwards it's just not been for them. As you can see, Coleman backing it in, trying to bring the rear round the corner before the front, but in a controlled way almost. And looking at this. Oh, here we go. Lord Coleman into the pits now. Oh, he's gone very deep. Hits the pit wall. Doesn't seem to be any damage. Team Finley also back into the pits. Onto some medium tyres. I think we are reaching the crossover now. Let's take a look here. Sloth, it seems to be the three wet runners. Finley and Sloth onto the hard tyres. It's an interesting call that. Finley serving his penalty, don't forget. Senna setting another purple sector. He's going to keep on circuit right now. As he completes lap 14. He brings the fastest lap down even further, 13.4. We'll see how many more choose to pit. It looks like Swanson has chosen to pit. Anyone else choosing to pit? Yes, KD, Newt, Frosty, Syme. Sainsy also in. Interesting decision. Maybe Senna and that are thinking that there's still life in the Inters. It's a yellow flag. Is Senna now into the pits? He's going to have a very comfortable margin when he comes into the... Jax Daniels staying out. Okay. It's the yellow flag. There's a Mercedes gone round. Looks like Sainsy, I think. He's going slow. Oh, it's contact with 50 Gent and Sloth, it looks like. I don't know if that was just miscommunication or wrong place, wrong time. Or right place, wrong time, should I say. And now Jax Daniels, he's, well, back in the lead, but he's going to lose it when he eventually stops, because you look where Senna is, 5.7 behind. Unless Jax Daniels is trying to extend to get on some mediums and go all the way. It's going to be an interesting choice. And here he comes, he elects to pit. DRS is now enabled for the first time in this race. Here he comes. And there's Senna go past in the background there. Now we need to focus on where Smug Git is. Smug Git will be entering the final corner now. Where's Jax Daniels? He'll be just coming up to the limiter line now, I think. Yes, he is. He's going to stay ahead from the looks of things. He's going to need time to get heat into them hard tyres. Swanson now the fastest lap of the race at 12.921. That's going to be an interesting final, well, 60% of this race. Oh, maybe 55 at least. Katie Race is bringing it down to 11.6 now. But we've got two runners on the mediums right now, Sloth and Coleman. 50 Gen gets a time penalty, so does Easy Life. Oh, Smug Git overshooting the hairpin a little bit there. Stand over the 10.0 now. Going to see this fastest lap drop a couple times, I think. But what I was going to mention is the medium runners are going to find it difficult to get to lap 36 from here. possibly without a safety car intervention. Lord Coleman now brings us to a 9.501. Smug gets, looks like he's struggling to get the car stopped into some of these corners here. Shawnee P now with a 3-second time penalty as well. I mean, this layout of Senna gets us to an 8.4. This, I told you, we're not going to stop seeing these times drop. Sloth and 7.8. What's Jack Styles going to do? I don't think he's going quicker. At least not quicker than Sloth, I think it was, who said the most recent one. I think we'll find track limits will be quite an issue around the circuit. At least this version. The normal way around to pain in the ass of track limits is Jack Styles goes a bit deep. Especially the first two corners where you kind of go right to the curb on the exit, that's in the backside. I suppose the final corner, pain in the backside. Senna with a 7.5. These times seem a little bit more like it here. Let me keep an eye on this gap. It seems like Senna's dragging it out further and further. $50 Gent taking another penalty, it looks like. Yep, oh, that's the wrong one. Yep, just to make sure. So, actually, let's move down the field a little bit. Let's look at Al Newton Michael JFF. Good to see a little bit of DRS in action, I guess. Have a much better run through the hairpin than Newt in front of him. Why not close enough for a dive into the final corner? I'll tell you what, we'll go a little bit further back in a second. So look at Frosty here, he's still stuck a bit further down the field after that incident on lap 1. Looks like Shawnee's had an incident on the exit of normal turn 4. Sainsy threw on Frosty there. Shawnee's struggling to get going, it looks like. He's going to get lapped by Senna. through Senna goes. We'll come on back up to this. Here we go. Frosty up the inside into turn 1. Oh, Sainsy having a bit more of a better run around the outside. Stays ahead. And Finley and 50 Gen. I don't know if that was a. I'm going to see if it was a pass or. Speaking of passes, here comes Frosty. He's finally through on Sainsy. And but Sainsy's going to have the DRS down the start finish straight up to turn 1. Not got a run though. I've noticed the gap at the top is coming down a touch. Swanson now getting a time penalty of his own. 3 seconds. Looks like it happened on the exit of the hairpin. Easy Life with the fastest lap of 7.399. This track is really rubbering in now. After the rain to start. We'll see Finley onto the back of this group here. We will see if he can get through. Sainsy a little bit deep and he gets a time penalty for it. Now, are we going to see a bit of a team game here from Sainsy and Finley, or is it going to be no holds barred? Senna brings us to a 6.960. I'm half expecting to look at Twitch chat and see some. What's happened to Sainsy? Sainsy's gone off a turn into the middle sector again. He's lost the front wing. I completely looked away when that happened. I was going to say I'm half expecting to look at chat and see someone like, oh nice. A 10-second time, okay. Oh, I don't know what he could have done, he was in the gravel, but okay game. Anyway, let's take a look at the top. There's 12.1 seconds in it now. It's gone down a little, but we're about what? 12 laps to, well, maybe 11 by the time Senna finishes this one. There's not much time left for Jack Jones. Is going to have to do at least a second a lap for the remaining laps here if he's going to beat Senna. We'll take a look. Syme recovering well after. Forgot about that. I forgot to reset the thing. Yeah, Syme recovering well after a bit of a. Wasn't the best qualifying. I think he was 14th. I think, if I remember right. Actually, we can have a look at that. If I go to positions gained. +6. Yeah, P14 he started. Sainsy into the pits to repair his wing. And it looks like he can be side by side with this group when they come out. Obviously, he'll be a lap down compared to him. So I'll just that yellow flag will be Sainsy returning to the circuit. Lord Coleman goes even quicker at 6.891. to move up to Michael just to see if there's... He's kind of... Oh, he almost faked Al Newton to turn 1 there. Let's hope it wasn't a detriment to, you know, I hope it didn't lose in time rather than anything. These guys' closest battle on in the race at the moment. $50 Gent pitting from 13th place. Sainsy trying to unlap himself. It's very deep, gets a time penalty in doing so. Again, Michael trying to fake, did a little fake into turn 1. There's a yellow flag up at the hairpin. Can't see who that was. I was kind of scrolling through the wrong way then to see what happened. Red Bull going slow. Has KD picked up damage? I'll need to get it's a 3-second time penalty. Now I haven't a clue what happened at the hairpin last time by. All I saw was a bit of, what was a yellow flag? I think that might be... Right, what's happened there? Oh, Jax Daniels has stopped in the first 2 corners there. Was there a spin? If there was, we completely missed it. So Ferrari going slowly in the middle sector. It's Coleman. All the drama happening there and we can't even keep an eye on it. Let's keep an eye. Come back up to this battle for a moment. We'll actually, never mind. We might look at Smug Git, but real quick. As Jax Daniels comes into the pit from second. Can't see any damage, but well, it kind of goes back to what I was saying. He needs to be careful. He knows. Let me just go back to. I didn't give you guys a championship rundown. I do apologise earlier. Let me get the championship standings real quick. The gap is currently 55. Well, was 55 going into this race. If they finish as they are, my math would say a 21-point gain to Senna. That's not counting if there's any extra fastest lap points. I'm not sure there is, but just in case it is one. Either way, it's going to be a 21-point gain for Senna if it stays as it is. And 21 minus 55, 55 minus 21. 34. Oh, it's going to be... It'll be very interesting in the Jax Daniels camp tonight. It's probably going to be his first time not on the podium this season, which is an incredible record when you think about it. And I need to stop my tally from going off, because it's just on the sleep timer thing. You can see he's on the back of Michael JFF there. Finley back into the pits again for a set of mediums. This might be an interesting thought then. Jack Stan's trying to hang around the outside of Michael. He's through. And is Simon going to try and have a go on Michael as well? No. We're going to see Jack Daniels have a look at Al Newt into the final corner as they're going down the hill with DRS. He's probably got a full battery too, for good measure. Let's see what kind of lap we're going to see from Jack Daniels there. It's a purple sector, probably because of the overtakes. They didn't get a fastest lap, but we'll probably expect it next time by if he has no dramas. I wonder if we'll see Senna. In fact, I was good. I might as well be Mystic Meg, because I was going to say I wonder if we'll see Senna come in, because he has such an enormous gap at the top of this race. And what you know, as soon as I go to say it, he pulls into the pit entry. Onto a set of mediums. As we will have 4 laps to go. At least according to Senna. Oh, he might be playing a risky game here, because look at... I don't know. Looking at how long people have gone on their hards and not made the full distance, I don't know if Smuggill or Pickle will have anything. Jack Daniels now brings the fastest lap to a 1:05.742. He's back into the top 5 now, which, off the top of my head, P5 usually gets I should know this. 10 points. Okay, so he brings the loss at least down to 15. If it stays as it is. Ooh, a bit of side-by-side action there at the final corner. Al Newt and Michael are side-by-side coming towards turn 1. Very good move from Michael in the Sauber there. Currently running P6, which is be a good result for the Sauber driver. Do I have a best finish of the season on here? Yes, we do. Michael's best finish. I think it's a P9. Looking at this. Well, if it stays as it is, a P6 is going to be more than enough to secure. Oh, as Simon runs a bit deep into the hairpin. I was going to mention how, yeah, the P9 result for Michael be more than enough for a season best. If he can, oh, he has a moment. He had a bit. I haven't a clue what happened on the exit of turn 1 there. He's let Al Newt back through for 6th. Is this Crafty Racing knowing that Newt has a penalty? Either way, Senna now starts the final lap. And he's already regained an 11-second gap since we last looked into it. We'll keep an eye here for a moment. Actually, no we're not, because Jax Downs is on the back of DRS Swanson. Or Swanson Bomb as he's now known as. He's right behind. He's going to have a look into the little S section. Oh, he's a very risky line over the curb. He's going around the outside, hogging. He's around the outside and he's through. Jack Downs up to 4th. We need to keep an eye on where Senna is on circuit. That's KD who's gone round. I think, I don't know. No, it's Syme, sorry. I do apologise. So much to keep an eye on here. It's a very short track. Senna comes around the final corner to take a very dominant win here in Austria reverse. We keep an eye on that in a minute. Of where Smug getting that is. It seems Syme is struggling to get back going. Here comes Smug Git to take 2nd. Mr. Pickle just behind to take 3rd place as well. Jax Downs comes around the final corner with Swanson. He's going to come home. Actually, yeah, Jax Downs is actually going to take 3rd because of Mr. Pickle's penalties. I completely forgot that Pickle had some penalties. Outstanding. And there comes Michael. He's battling away with Al News, but Michael will take P6, a season best for him. Here comes Coleman, Frosty, Syme, I think. Yep, Syme as well. And here comes KD Races, the last lead lap runner to finish in 11th place. Around that final corner. And there we go. I was waiting for where the line was. Oh. Let's get the podium for a second. And there we go. Another crazy race here in DRS. Senna taking a very dominant win here. 15.1 seconds ahead of DRS Smug Git. Jax Daniels finishing the rounding off the podium in 3rd. It seems that he's a couple spins or mistakes has probably cost him at least maybe 2nd. Who knows if he could have stayed with Senna. Mr. Pickle unfortunately losing the podium on the line. Swanson in 5th. Michael taking a season best in 6th. Al Newt 7th. Coleman 8th. Frosty 9th, Simon 10th to round out the points. KD Races, Finley, 50 Gent, The Sloth, Easy Life, Shawnee P and Sainsley the rest of the finishers. No retirements tonight. And as soon as I say that... Actually, I won't say what I was going to say because that might be in... It's not really an F1 topic. It's a fuzzy thing, don't worry. Anyway, that is all for tonight. Once again, a drama-filled race. Seems to be a common thing here in DRS. Thank you all for watching. Let me just get the calendar back up so we can know where we'll be racing next week. So next week we have the first of our trips to the United States of America. we'll be visiting the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas for 100% round. Hopefully you can join us next week, February 24th, 8 PM GMT as usual. If you are watching us live, thank you for watching. Can't really check chat, but what was I going to say? If you are watching later, whether it be on repeat or through Twitch VOD or on YouTube, on the Dynamic Racing Series channel, we race every Tuesday, 8 PM, live on Twitch. Channel is DJ Dabasaurs. You can kind of see my name on the screen there as a spectator. Hopefully you enjoyed that one, and I will see you all, hopefully, next week in Texas. Thank you and good night, ladies and gentlemen.